What up, Alina? Hey, guess what? We are those motherfuckers!
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Frolfcenter, presented by Frolfer Magazine. Hey, first and foremost, if you're not a fan of our YouTube channel, I please highly recommend it. Takes 2 seconds to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Helps us out. You can win some stuff. Do your thing. Secondly, Chat Point Dubs at Chattahoochee Point, Sunday morning, 10 o'clock. And Tannery Row Punting League. I'm 2-0. Please try to come beat me. I dare you. Monday nights, Tannery Row. Go ahead.
All right. That's pretty good. I'm Adam again. I do a putting league. I don't do it, but I go to the putting league. It's Tuesday night, thrown at Scofflaw Brewery. It's thrown by the In-Town Atlanta Disc Golf Club, which is kind of a bummer because it's at a brewery that has good beer, but it's dry January for me. So for dry January here with Frolfcenter, we're actually going to do Jazz Cabbage January. So every Thursday of the month, I'm going to try a different CBD product on the air. Today we have Bad Days. It's a tincture from a company called No Wave, and it's supposed to increase focus. So
you're going to need it, bud.
I'm going to need it tonight. I think it's. I'm going to soak it all in because Scott Stokely's got really good information. Cody, what are you up to?
I'm enjoying this beautiful off season we're having, and I'm not doing anything. I'm just
okay.
So I hope you guys have.
You're probably just happy not to be doing as many pools right now, huh?
Yeah, I'm just enjoying some downtime for a couple of weeks.
Cool.
Yeah, just for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Oh,
so anyway, do you want to give an intro to our next guest real quick, Austin? Because he is here and ready to go.
All right. Well, I don't think we have to do much. We've already presented the pictures, but it's a living legend in the game, a teacher, an athlete, the dude who's looking to make a scene in 2022 on the DGPT. It's Mr. Scott Stokely.
Hello, everybody.
There he is.
What's going on, Stokely?
Not much. I will half apologize. I'm in my truck because I live on the road, so
yeah.
This is what you get. How you guys doing?
Good, man.
Good, man. How are you?
Hey, our first interview with Chris
good.
Dickerson as he was riding home from doubles. So
yeah, I think actually Scott's first interview was in the back of an RV, also with us, like a year ago or a little longer. So
Wow, I'm glad I did. We set the camera up at the correct angle then.
Yeah, it was good. No, it looked all right. It took good. You had no service. You're in like the mountains somewhere. It was crazy, but yeah.
Gotcha. I love it, man. This is great, man. You guys are the best. I mean, I've been on a few times, so.
Yeah, I think it's 3 or 4 now. So the gist of it, everybody knows you're going back on tour in a very unique situation. How in the heck are you preparing for it? You're doing everything. I've seen what you do, but like, what are you doing, man?
Well, so first off, I've never worked harder in my life for anything. I have so much respect for the athletes that play disc golf today on the pro tour that to me, if I just showed up there and said, hey, I used to be good, I'm on tour again, I think that would be a slap in the face. It would be so disrespectful to everything that they're doing that I'm coming as prepared as I've ever been. As far as what I'm doing, I'm going to actually release a video of a complete breakdown, but I mean, God, everything from my radical diet change and supplements, about 8 hours a week in the gym, multiple hours a week at cardio, disc golf strong, 750 putts, 2 out of every 3 days, throwing. I mean, I'm like, but here, what I keep saying in my head is next year you may outplay me, but this winter you won't outwork me.
Nice.
I like that.
Every bit of it.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about this amino acid sponsorship? This blew my mind.
Yeah, this is really cool. So I've been working with them for a while now. So first off, like I'm a science nerd. I mean, I come from that background, and the reality is, and I'm not going to pretend to know more than I do, but the reality is, the vast majority of supplements out there are bullshit.
Yeah.
If a product doesn't, if it doesn't show results in a randomized placebo-controlled double-blind study, then it doesn't work. The vast majority of supplements never even subjected themselves to such studies because they don't work. They rely on anecdotal evidence, which means a bunch of people take them, they go to the gym, hey, I got muscles, the product worked, right? I mean, that's nonsense.
It's like listening to a Google review almost.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And so, but there are a few supplements out there, types of supplements that are legitimate. Amino acids for sure, protein, creatine. I mean, there's some real things out there. Anyway, so I've been working with them because as I'm trying to, or as I have transformed a 52-year-old body into a 48-year-old body. No,
Nice.
Actually, my goal is to have a 40-year-old body at 52. Like I can't do it alone. With all the hard work in the world, I mean, our bodies get older. They stop producing the things they're supposed to. So I started on this major with several other things, amino acid supplements. And the amino acids I take, actually, I didn't. This was not supposed to be a sales pitch, but Adrian.
No, I'm so interested though. Yeah.
All right, it's called Perform. It's from a company called the Amino Company. They're a real company. It's amino acids and which are the building blocks of proteins, and also creatine, which is one of the actual supplements that works. And this is literally the company that produces the products that they take on the space station to keep muscle degeneration because you're not living in Earth gravity.
Right. Yeah. You almost atrophy. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And we know that this happens. And so what can we do to prevent this? Well, I'm older, so I'm also looking to prevent things like muscle and muscle loss. And so I'm swearing by them. I've never, ever in my entire life felt better. And that might not be true because I might have felt better when I was 20, but that was like 75 years ago, so I can't remember. Yeah, I'm a diehard. I'm a believer. So, by the way, I didn't mean this was not intended to be a sales pitch, but if you go to my Facebook page, there's a post about the amino acid sponsor. There is a discount code if you do want to try them, which I highly recommend. There's a discount code you can order, and you'll get a discount on your order. And amino acids aren't cheap; they're not, $8 supplements. So do the code; you'll save some money.
There you go. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and don't worry about it feeling like a sales pitch. I'm genuinely interested because I haven't seen a lot of people go the amino acid route very publicly in the work that they're doing on their bodies. Everyone's doing creatine, everyone's doing whey protein and all that, but I don't see a lot of people talk about the amino acids. So,
well, the thing is, it does a lot more than that too. I mean, it's the building block of serotonin, which regulates mood. Mm-hmm. It is sleep. Proper sleep is caused by chemicals in the brain. I believe melatonin. Again, I'm not trying to express more than I know, but the data shows that amino acid supplements help you sleep better. Well, when you sleep better, you feel better, you have more energy, you're able to build more muscle with proper sleep. We all know that's been proven. So really, it's just a matter of giving your body what it needs. It's almost like taking vitamins. Like you don't need vitamins if you have a perfect diet, but one way or another, you must get them. They're vitamins, vital aminos, right?
Oh, there you go.
You have to have these things for your body to function properly. And again, I'm 52. When you're 20, not that you shouldn't be healthy, but you can get away with a lot when you're 20 years old. I mean, you're so resilient. When you're 52 years old, every injury lasts forever, and every nothing works the way you wanted it to. So all the help I can get is I'm doing.
For sure, and I feel it at 30. But so you're combining this with the Seth Muncie and the Disc Golf Strong, correct? I mean,
yeah, absolutely. I could not speak any higher about Seth Muncie and Disc Golf Strong. He is so incredibly knowledgeable, but I believe that he knows more about fitness for disc golf specifically, I think, than anybody in the world, because he's a really bright and smart guy who knows every bit as much about fitness and body mechanics and movement and strength and conditioning. But he then has the emphasis of he understands disc golf. He knows how our bodies move. And any chance you get to work with him, like he's the real deal. Like I, by the way, I am not sponsored by Disc Golf Strong, so I'm not. I get nothing for sharing this. But the thing is that when I went to I spent a week with him out in Las Vegas, and I basically went through his course, but I did it in person. And the thing about Seth, this is what tells me that he knows his stuff better than anybody, or why I trust him as much as anybody, is he's not afraid to say, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. And this is a big deal, because anyone that has all the answers, I'm a this type of coach, or I took a correspondence class in this thing, and it doesn't matter what you come to me with, I have an answer. That's nonsense. Yeah. He'll tell you flat out, well, when it comes to this type of injuries, you need to go see a doctor or a physical therapist, not my area. So he knows what he doesn't know. Therefore, the stuff he says he knows, he actually does know. You can trust him.
Right. And so going back to the amino acid thing, you're taking these supplements, and how does that like correspond with the diet and the exercises that you're doing? And how often are you taking them? Like, is it twice a day or what?
No, so it's a couple different. I do a couple different regimens. I do one that's a daily, just overall for overall health. Right. I do a second type that I do when I work out, which is basically 4 times a week. That is, it gives you what you need to build lean muscle mass, or build the proteins and build lean muscle mass. So I take those at the time while I'm working out, and then I follow it up with one afterwards that is geared towards recovery. They're all very similar, but they emphasize different things.
So there's a lineup of these amino acids that you're taking daily.
Yes. And again, full disclosure, I mean, they're sponsoring me.
Yeah. Right. That's why I want to know about them. But it matters. So I think it's important that when it comes to something like this, if you don't disclose that you're on the books getting paid, I think it's misleading. So I am, but it's only because I believe in them. I'm not selling multi-level marketing schemes or anything. Which a lot of these health companies, supplement companies, are just MLMs, with placebos. So no, that's what I have to do. So it's basically, you can do a lot of things, but your body has to have what it needs to heal. It needs certain things to rebuild. I mean, if you don't have certain chemicals in your body, you cannot build muscle. Like muscle doesn't come from nowhere. It's not like you have fat and you work out and you turn that fat into muscle. That's not the way it works. Your body must have the things it needs. And but before the amino acids, it actually started off with, I went to a doctor, I did a full battery of tests, and I'm terrified of having like blood drawn. But I actually submitted myself to all these tests that tested everything from all my nutrient levels to cholesterol to hormones to everything. I found out that I was low in iron. I found out all these things. So I started with going to a doctor to see what I needed to be in the best possible shape, because I'm going to be doing this crazy thing in 8 months, which is now a month away. Right. What's the diet and exercise though that goes along with all these things? Like, what are you doing for exercise, and what are you doing for diets?
Sure, absolutely. I'll give you the quicker overview. I want.
Yeah.
By the way, this is a totally different conversation than we've ever had. Usually we're just like laughing and joking. So
we'll get there. We'll get to the fun stuff. But I'm going to MA 40 this year, and I'm looking to kick ass. So I need to get all this.
You should and do it when you're 40. Don't do it when you're 49. That's
I just turned 30, and I'm trying to take it.
All right. So the first thing with diet is that I'm a big believer in things have to be sustainable. Like, you can't do any type of diet that involves too much work or too much effort. I don't think anybody sticks with. Like the minute you have to call a restaurant to ask for an ingredient list, or the minute that you're in the kitchen weighing out your beans, or that was not a shot at beans. It was weighing out your whatever you're cooking. Like, as soon as you're doing that, like, good luck doing that for a week.
Right.
So instead, I'm not on any formal diet. Instead, what I did is I eliminated 5 things from my diet. Not all carbohydrates, because again, I couldn't eat an orange. I'm sorry, that's stupid.
Yeah.
I eliminated bread, rice, pasta, tortillas, the 4 main breads. They're all just borderline empty calories anyways of filler. And then I eliminated sugar in the form of sweets. Meaning I'm not I'm not asking if there's sugar in the barbecue sauce. I can eat barbecue sauce, but I'm not eating ice cream and candy.
Gotcha.
Cake.
I just eliminated those things, and then I eat whatever the hell I want after that. A lot of fruit, a lot of vegetables, a lot of meat, a lot of cheese. I'm not recommending this for anybody. This is not my area of expertise, but it worked for me. Basically, as soon as I did that, I could just eat whatever I wanted, because as soon as you take out those major fillers, like you can't get as many calories as you were going to have if they were in there. Like you could eat twice as many, like Chinese food, right? You remove the rice, you could eat like twice as much of the good stuff, and you're still getting less calories than when you put it over like 4 cups of rice. So
yeah, it's always 4 cups of rice too. It's always too much rice.
But this is sustainable, because this is easy. Crunch Schumann, a real good friend of mine, is also doing the same thing. And the way he put it was, there's a million foods out there I can eat, 5 that I can't.
Yeah.
And that's not hard.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
yeah. That's
So
a really
that's
nice
really-
way of
that's-
putting that,
Yeah, that's been the diet. As far as the exercise, I'm not focusing on disc golf muscles.
Mhm.
I was just trying to build a stronger body that could sustain everything. So I go to the gym 2 hours, 2 hours, day off, 2 hours, 2 hours, day off. I go in 3-day cycles, so I have a recovery day, splitting up body into 2 different sections on those 2 days. And then I try to I'm always trying to do at least 30 minutes of cardio. I hate cardio in gyms, but I'll do it if it's the only option. But I'd much rather be outside doing fun stuff.
yeah.
Treadmills, go do. Hey, if you're interested in like how dumb treadmills are, go do do a Google search. Treadmills were invented as a punishment for prisoners.
Oh, yeah.
They
it
were
feels like that.
literally like,
It
these
feels like
prisoners are
that.
being too unruly. They're starting fights. They're creating hassles for us. Let's
Make
stick them
them
on
run.
a treadmill 8 hours a day and wear them out. Like they were a torture device.
That-
I'm not a fan, but I will get on one to get my 30 minutes in, but I don't like it.
Yeah, gotcha.
That's hilarious. I never knew that.
What was the hardest part about your 5,200 foot hole under
The 52,000 foot hole.
52,000? Sorry.
52,000 foot hole.
And how do you feel
honestly,
about the person that already beat it?
Well,
I love it. I called him in the morning and rooted him on.
Hell
yes.
That's the idea. So the hardest thing about it, honestly, it wasn't really that hard. It was the most probably just the fact that I'm landing on wet ground, and it would have taken next to 2 hours if I dried my disc every time. So I was throwing wet, sandy discs. I got a blister on my pinky after a while just because I'm throwing a sandy golf disc over and over again. Walking on sand is hard.
It's not fun.
It's way harder than walking on. I would say probably a third of what I did was on pretty hard ground, because there were periods where I got little breaks where it'd be like hard packed for like a half a mile. But walking on sand for 9.8 miles it's hard on the hips, because
So every half step is a half step. It feels like
it is. So that was harder, but it was also so much fun. I mean, I had a really good time. So then my idea with it is I want to do people are saying, oh, you should submit this to Guinness. No, because the minute you submit it to Guinness, somebody's going to walk the Appalachian Trail, put a basket at the end, throw a disc, because they want to be in the Guinness Book of World Records. And then it's like, it's really cool. I mean, that would be cool for one person, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's no fun. So instead I proposed, and I have no authority whatsoever to do this, but I proposed, what if the next person that breaks my record, because 9.8 miles, all 3 of you could do a 9.8 mile hole. Give me a break. It's not
right.
It's within the reach of most people. I said, but I'm going to propose that if you break it by 1,000 feet. Now you officially broke a disc golf world record.
That's
but
fair.
next week, someone else can break it by 1,000 feet, and then 1,000 feet. And then we could have this thing where hundreds and hundreds of people can go out and get a world record. Not for nothing. You still got to put out some serious effort to do it, but it's obtainable. So I've already said this. I'm going to be at Big Bend National Park in about 2 weeks. And I'm going to be in Death Valley a couple weeks after that. And I'm going to, whatever record's standing, I'm going to break the record at both those places.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Death
yeah.
Valley.
Yeah, not to try to take it back or anything, but I want to just kind of get this thing going. So if it hasn't been broken, I'm going to break it by another 1,000 feet. And then wherever it is, even if it's my own record, I'll break it in Death Valley. But I'm trying to get people to get in this because I think it's really fun.
Man, if we could just shut down the interstate in Atlanta, I'd just lap 285 for a little while. You know what I mean?
Just make it one big Mando. Hey, I do want to point something out. The people that broke my record, the guys did it in the snow.
Oh, they did. They're from Minnesota. Billy Ashton jumped in to say that. Yeah, we saw that. It might be a little easier than sand, but it's not fun.
In the snow. But no. A little easier than sand? No. Let me explain something to you.
Yeah.
It's okay. So where I was, people work 51 weeks just so they can take a week and spend it where I'd set my record. It might have been hard in the sand, but I was on a damn beach in 80-degree weather in January. Like
shorts and a t-shirt or no shirt.
Yeah, that's not snow. The people that did it the snow was epic.
Yeah, you did look a little wiped at the end coming up that last dune. I was like, okay, that's what 52,000 feet of disc golf looks like.
I was tired, but I mean, it didn't crush me. Not at all.
It wasn't unpleasant. Yeah, that's for sure.
No, it was fun. I can't wait to do it again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So how many putts are you throwing right now in a day or a week, getting ready to go back out for the big tour?
Yeah. Okay. By the way, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we something changed on the audio. Okay. So I'm doing 750 putts a day, 2 days, and then 1 day off.
All right.
And I haven't been perfect about this because 750 putts a day is fairly grueling, and I've been putting out so much content. I'm getting putts in every day, but this hasn't been an area where I've been perfect. I wish I could say I was, but I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to do.
Gotcha. That's probably not bad either. Everyone says you can overdo your putting practice. If you putt for practice too long, you're going to lose focus. It's going to just be flinging a disc. So maybe you're just finding the right spot, right?
The minute you lose focus, you should stop.
Yeah. As soon as you're just throwing the ball. I have a secret weapon, and I'm not going to say what that secret weapon is. Oh, sure.
But it's legal, and you can buy it at 7-Eleven.
Okay, got it.
There's a professional golfer out there who avidly says that's his key too. I believe he's about 50 years old as well.
Really? Who is it?
Everybody calls him Lefty. Phil Mickelson.
Does he swear by coffee?
Oh my God! You don't watch golf.
He's a coffee maniac.
I watch golf all the time, and when you say Lefty, you're talking about Zach Melton.
It's Nathan Queen, actually.
Nathan Queen.
Yeah,
actually.
Zach Smith. Chris Clemens. There you go. Okay, we had a couple of viewer questions I wanted to get to real quick. You are throwing an open bag this year, which is awesome. And so people really want to know what you're throwing. What are your favorite distance drivers? Nathan Skinner wants to know.
My favorite distance drivers. I'm going to be throwing. Oh God, should I? Okay, well, these haven't been announced yet, so let's just call them hypothetically. I'll hypothetically I might be throwing the Defender, the Enforcer, and maybe others.
Hypothetically, law enforcement discs. Got it.
Yeah, hypothetically, I might also be wise enough to realize that if I release these discs right after Ricky releases his version, I may sell less.
You may sell less. Yeah, you might want to. There's a little bit of a storm blowing over those guys. You might want to just hang out a minute. Give it a week or two. Let it all blow over. Reddit's not happy with those guys right now. But anywho,
right? Really? Reddit's not happy with that.
There's like two things that people are wigging out about. One is the amount of, and it's not even their fault, but the amount of DDO female spots was an issue that came up today.
Oh,
and they hired an HR guy that's got a kind of tainted past. Let's not turn this into that, but yeah, there's internet drama right now. Imagine that. Imagine there being drama on the internet, right?
There's internet drama right now.
Yeah, imagine that.
Yeah,
right? Somebody also wanted to know if you have any gateway molds that are going to make it in the bag.
Yeah, but before that, I want to put an end to the internet drama by I want to tell you who I voted for last election.
Okay.
No,
yeah. Jeez.
Please don't. We're going to cut you out.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw something. Yeah.
I can't believe you were actually going to let it happen.
Yeah, I was going to let it go. Yeah.
No. Will I be bagging a Gateway? Well, of course I'm going to be bagging Gateway. Gateway's fantastic. I've been incredibly close friends with Dave McCormick forever. The Wizard is the gold standard for putters. I mean, it truly.
Yeah.
And there are more putters of another company sold, but if a company is selling 20 times as many discs overall as Gateway, but twice as many of their best putter as the Wizard, then that tells you just how big the Wizard is, because they're coming from a smaller company. The thing about Gateway, I'm also going to be throwing the Assassin because I love that disc for reasonable length rollers, which happen occasionally. The thing about Gateway is they've nailed or licked the problem with inconsistent plastics. Their plastic now is absolutely fantastic, and I think even Dave would tell you that it wasn't necessarily what, at least in popular opinion, that was one of the rubs against them. That's no longer the case. Gateway has got consistent discs coming out. They've always put out good molds, but now they're consistent and the plastic's good. So I'm a huge Gateway mark. I love Gateway. I love Dave McCormick. So
yeah, I'll back that up. I picked up a spear on the course that somebody lost the other day, and I felt it. And I was like, oh my God. Like, this is not the Gateway of old. No.
Is there anything you're throwing this year that would surprise people? Is there anything you're throwing this year that's going to surprise some people? Or you got an arrow in the bag?
Maybe if I threw a tantrum, that might surprise people. Wait, is that like an MVP disc? Oh, that is an MVP disc, isn't it?
The tantrum, is it? Maybe tantric. I don't know. I'm an N of a nerd. I don't know.
Yeah, shows you how much I know.
Really slowly and focus on my breathing when I throw it. No, I don't think there should be any surprise. When I looked at discs, I was looking at what the best discs were for my shots. I built my bag based on the throws I needed. Then I picked the best discs for it, and I didn't care about manufacturer. One thing about the mixed bag thing is I have relationships with different companies, and I have Tour Series discs coming out for most of them. But if a company doesn't want to get me or didn't want to do have a working relationship with me, the disc stays in my bag.
Yeah.
Like, I'm being true to this idea of I'm picking the best discs for me. That means I'll be throwing some smaller company discs and some less popular discs, which in terms of my retail sales, I'll sell. I mean, I'm going to make less money off smaller companies' discs than big companies' discs. However, what's important to me is that I also, I will, on the flip side, from a business perspective, I make more money because I have tried very hard to build a reputation of honesty.
Yeah.
So when you see that I'm not making choices that are just based on a cash grab, then I have credibility to throw these. I think in the long run, it's even better for my brand, aside from the fact that I'm just going to be honest because I will be.
Yeah, you got nothing to lose.
Isn't every pro just one Conrad throw away from selling out their disc, all their discs ever?
No.
No. Some people have good shots, and
every disc of that specific mold.
Not
I
one
guess.
Good Conrad throw. That required a couple hundred good throws to be in that position.
That position was out of control. Somebody want to know, since you are using some Castoplast stuff, did you adjust anything when deciding to putt with the Berg, your grip, your spin, anything like that?
No, no real adjustments. So the thing about putters is there is no such thing as a best putter. You have to putt putters. Like, if you're putting something that doesn't fall in the category of putters, you're making a wrong decision for a number of reasons. I laid this out in the video. So you need to throw putters. You need to get a consistent release. You need a clean release. Consistency being the biggest thing. Clean's important. Consistent's most important. It needs to leave your hand the same place every single time. There is no such thing as one disc that'll give that result to every single player, because our hands are different length fingers, different flexibilities, different strength in different areas, different grips, different putting motion. You can't have one putter that is the universally best putter for everybody, period. By the way, that adds to like the whole credibility, because I'm not telling anybody they should putt the Berg. I'm telling them that I putt the Berg.
Yeah.
And here's why I get the results I want. I like the release. It comes out of my hand clean. But one thing I like about it, is that, well, a couple things. One is it does not go far past the basket, so I can be more aggressive. Because, if you putt from 30 feet, it's almost impossible to go 25 feet long on a, well, I probably won't miss metal from 30 feet often, but on a 40-foot putt, I'm, 15 feet long is about as far as it's going to go, which means I can be aggressive. It doesn't bank as far right and left. So with the Berg, if you put a little bit of angle on it, or rather you get the angle off a little bit, it still flies basically straight. It doesn't really care that it's at an angle. It just follows a line, which I find makes that more predictable.
Yeah, it's a smaller or bigger margin of error. You can mess up a little more and it'll still be in the chute, so to say. It'll be in the tunnel, right?
No, 100%. I mean, a huge part of how I teach is about having it's about mathematics, and creating the largest margin for error means you'll be more successful. But again, this is me. Let me go ahead and plug it then, if you don't mind the shameless plugs. My Tour Series Berg and all the other products are available at scottstokely.net. That's where you can order them. But yeah, that's why I like the Berg. I mean, the Berg, it does what I want it to do. Here's the thing: is I will not be the best putter on tour next year. My numbers, there's no chance at this point. I've never been the best putter in my life. I've been a very good putter, but I've never been the best. No one would confuse me with Ricky Wysocki or Ken Klimo. Like, that's not my skill set. I'm good. My goal with putting is I'm working really hard so I can be a mediocre putter on tour. Like, if I can be an average putter on tour, but the weakest part of my game is average, then I feel like I can really perform well. You can't be a bad putter and succeed on tour. It's impossible.
Right.
But if the weakest part of your game is average and everything else is above that, I think you have a chance. So my goal, like strange as that sounds, my goal on putting is to be average, but average against the best in the world.
Yeah, average in that pool. And I heard you say in another interview that you think 1025 is a very achievable, healthy rating for you when this is all said and done.
Oh, I'll be in the 1020s by the end of the season. I guarantee it, 100%. My rationale behind this is that at the end of, not last year, meaning 2 weeks ago, but the season before, I ended the season, I was 1,010 rated. Which at the time it was the second highest or second best MP50 in the world behind Barry, I think. But I was 1,010, a very respectable rating. However, I hadn't really practiced in 20 years. I would just go to tournaments. I would play tournaments blind because I was doing seminars and clinics. So I was showing up at courses, showing up at tournaments, playing them blind, no practice, still shooting 1,010. So my assessment was, well, if I actually put the time into training and I'm there a few days early practicing courses, can I shoot 3 strokes better on average? Well, 3 strokes better is 1026 or 1027.
Right.
I don't see any reason why I can't be 3 strokes better with practicing the course first and then practicing. It seems realistic.
What's going to define a successful season for you?
Actually, let me rephrase that. If everything goes how you want it to go, everything that you've worked hard for, you trained for this long, you threw the disc for this long, you practiced putting 2 months before the tour, 750 putts a day. If all this goes smooth, where are we going to see you at the end of the year?
My goal is to win worlds. It's always to win worlds.
Yeah.
People have joked, many people have made the joke, I got you picked for Rookie of the Year. And my thought is, why not Player of the Year?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. The thing is, it ultimately doesn't matter how I finish, whether I win worlds or not, whether I win a pro tour event or I don't. It's critical that that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
In my opinion, if I go to a single tournament where I'm not out there to win, then I'm screwing over some player that would have been out there to win had I not taken their spot. And I don't care if they're a 950 player. If they're going out there to win the tournament, they deserve the spot instead of me if I'm not out there to win. So my goal is to win, period.
kind of like
I'm not,
Kenny does one round at USDGC and walks away.
I'm not out there to participate, and
Right.
and I'm not out there to sign autographs. I'm the nicest guy in the entire world, on or off the course. But as soon as I step onto the course, every single player in that tournament is the enemy for the next 4 hours. I mean, and I don't mean enemy, but I mean, like I'm out there to beat them. I want to beat every one of them every single time.
Yeah.
That's the goal. If I prepare to do that and I do everything I can to put myself in a position, and that's what I try to do, then I have succeeded for the year, regardless of my score.
Right on. Brian Schweberger was tuning in last week, and we had teased that you were coming on, and he says that if you stay healthy, he sees you at USDGC. Do you see the same thing?
Oh, you mean as far as qualifying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure, right?
Oh,
100%. Yeah.
No, 100%. I'll be there.
That's awesome. And what's the tour card situation? You've actually got to sign up like a regular person right now, right?
Yeah. So I'm playing the sign-up game like everybody else. The problem, so I screwed up last year, beginning of the year, because I finished out the year before 2010. I had health issues at the beginning of this year. It's partially why I was doing all this stuff with the doctors. Where I went out for a couple months and threw like 950 for a couple months, and I didn't care. I don't care about ratings. Got my health issue taken care of, and I think I was throwing close to 1,010 the last month or two of the season. But I pushed my rating down to 991 because of that beginning of the year. Didn't think anything of it, and now I'm out on tour, and I can't get a tour card, and I have to sign up, and I'm like, oh shoot, that 991 rating means I have to sign up after the 1,000 rated players, which means it's going to be tough. I'm going to have to game everybody else is. I will be there at 8:01 p.m. signing up the minute tournaments open. I'll do the best I can. I'll get on wait lists. And I will be at every single tournament.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what number I am on the wait list. One of the things is this year is that, and last year, every tournament I play, I'm donating, if I get in, all my prize money goes to a special needs organization local to that tournament. So I'm not actually, I'm technically an amateur, guys, by the way. Do you have an amateur on your show? This includes skins matches, ace pulls, everything. I do not play for money anymore. 100% of my money is donated to a local autism organization. But also the week before the tournament, I'll be teaching a class for the students at that. When I say autism, I'm sorry, special needs. It's a pretty large umbrella of things. So
right.
But I'll be teaching a class for kids and adults with special needs the week leading up to the event as well.
Right.
So I'm going to be there. And if I can't get into the tournament, I will enjoy walking around and watching the best disc golfers in the world play. Yeah. And I'll be rooting them on. I'll be rooting them all on. I like them all.
Yeah, you're gonna if you get to a tournament you're not playing, I guarantee someone's gonna grab you and say, "Hey, can you do 9 holes of commentary, 18 holes of commentary with us on post produced?" I wouldn't doubt that at all.
Yeah, and I think that would be fun. I mean, I'm gonna be part of the tour, and if I don't get in every, that's just the way it works out. The thing is it's not unfair. Like, I'm not crying that this is not the way it should be. It's absolutely the way it should be. The players that went out and grinded last year, they're the ones who deserve the first spots. So none of this is not fair. I'm a fan of the system, even though I'm the one who's gonna have to deal with the consequences of it. But it doesn't mean it's not the way it should be. I'm a huge fan of the DGPT and the people that run it. So nothing but respect there. And I think I'm going to get into most of them because I will sign up at 8:01 and I will be there. So I suspect I'll get most.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. So coming into the season, obviously we talked about a few of your sponsors. You got the Amino company. You mentioned some Castaplast, but you've got another putter coming to you from Birdie Disc Golf. Is that right?
Yes. Huge fan. The disc is called the Marvel, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's a beaded, straight flying putter. Fantastic, amazing plastic. They're doing a special plastic blend for my tour disc coming out. I can't speak highly enough. And if you guys, I'm sure already know this. I mean, as far as companies go, they're the best. They're fantastic. Derek is just about the nicest guy you're ever going to meet. I mean, I hope it just doesn't. I hope I don't like numb everybody out by just saying nice things.
No,
about people.
no,
Like,
definitely not. No,
but they're the best, man. Derek is such a good guy. But the disc is awesome. I recommend everybody give it a try. It's called the Marvel from Birdie Disc Golf Supply.
And is this one of their first discs that they're making? Is that right? And who's?
Yeah.
Can you say who's actually? Are they molding it themselves, or somebody molding it for them? Is it Gateway or somebody?
I
Probably.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Well, you know what? Tell Derek to call. Tell Derek to call us. We'll have him on the show. Yeah.
Forged in the pits of hell by Satan himself.
There you go.
And then I really like people don't like those jokes, and so then I didn't say it, but I just did.
Yeah. Gotcha. Understood. Understand.
I hope Derek hates that and doesn't get mad at me.
Yeah, for sure. Is open bag the way of the future? Do you think? No. You think that the manufacturers still have a? Yep.
Yeah, because here's the thing: everyone has a different situation, but the relationship between player and sponsor it's critical to how most people are able to tour.
Mm-hmm.
Because so here's the thing, and this is a big misconception, not just disc golfers, but athletes in other sports have too, is your value as an athlete, as far as financially, has very little to do with your performance on the course.
Yeah.
Any more than an MMA fighter has, most of their value is not the fact that they're on a 6-fight winning streak. Like, it's basically how much revenue can you generate because of what you do.
Right.
If you're an MMA fighter, how many more pay-per-view tickets are sold because you fight? That's what matters, not your win-loss record. Well, it's the same correlation in disc golf, which is you have a sponsor. It's not how many tournaments you win. It's not how many times you won your state championships or what your rating is. It is how many more discs will your sponsor sell because you are throwing them. And then part of that increased revenue belongs to you. That's what you negotiate in your sponsorship deal. So your value to the company, that's what the value to the company is. And so the easiest way to do this for a player is to basically present to the sponsor, and this is what all players do, whether they say it or not, which is, if you pay me, I will throw your discs, and therefore you'll sell more discs.
Yep.
And that's how you, that is the simplest way. The mixed bag model is a much more complicated system.
Yeah.
Like, I have a store where I will have an inventory full of all my Tour Series discs on stock in inventory. And there's not a lot of 19-year-old kids that are in that position to do something like that. It's just not feasible for everybody. I'm not even sure it's the most profitable for everybody too, because just the fact that a sponsor cuts you a deal you might be getting paid more than you're worth, believe it or not.
And then right. You've got because it's a name thing. It's a marquee name, and that might be what they're doing. And I wonder, I mean, the advantage of having access to all plastic doesn't make up for the money you lose or the complications, the contracts the other way around then.
Well, there's pros and cons to everything, and there's different models for everything. I mean, I'm introducing, and I mean, Drew Gibson's doing some of this, and Eric Oakley, and so I was kind of actually mad because I've been working on this for a year, and then when they came out with theirs, I was like, oh, I was doing this first.
I was doing this already.
It was. I like to do everything first. Most of the ways pros make money, I actually did first. So
yeah,
I take a lot of pride in that, or ego, whatever you want to call it. But it's it is a new model, and so what I am doing, the model that I'm doing, someone else can step into.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's more of a do-it-yourself model. Like, I'm stocking all my inventory. My brand is Stokely.
Yeah.
Like, people are like, well, why you should work with Infinite? Well, I don't want to work for Infinite. I want to be Infinite. Like, right. The brand is Stokely. Like, I have in the next little while here, I have golf carts coming out, golf bags coming out, barbecue sauce coming out. I'll even tease game. I have a game on the phone coming out in May, which I'll leave it at that. Shirts, bags, hats. Basically, I'm branding everything under my brand. So my brand is me. So I'll actually have on the back of my, when I'm competing, I'll have Stokely on my back. But it's not because I'm an athlete with their name on their jersey.
Yeah.
This is the same as someone with Discmania having Discmania. My brand is me.
That's awesome.
And it's not a unique model to the world of sports, but it's maybe a little bit unique for us.
Yeah, you basically are disc golf.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm basically what?
You basically are disc golf, right?
Yeah, you grew up with it. That's
summed up in a term.
Yeah.
I do.
Charity,
I live it.
I know you wrote it in your book, and you've probably told a bunch of people already, but Charity Goodwin wants to know why you got the tattoo on your fingers.
So I won't tell you a whole long drawn. I think I have told the story before on your show.
Probably.
I won't tell you a story about how I came back to disc golf. But disc golf, after touring for years and playing, up until 2001, took 13 years off. Had a very rough period at the end. It's amazing to think we're almost 10 years from this. But I had a very short period of substance abuse and was in a very bad, dark place in my life when I found disc golf again. And I had lost my identity as a disc golfer. I was the dad, I was a person, but I wasn't a disc golfer anymore. And so when I came back to the sport after the sport saved my life, I wanted to do something that was, this was, by the way, my first tattoo I ever got. It was my wedding ring to the sport. It was my way of saying, I'm never going to leave you again. I'm sorry. My apologies. The reason why I got it on my hand was because I didn't want it in a place where I could throw a shirt over it. Like I wanted it in a place where when you meet me, that would be the very first thing that you saw. Oh, this is a disc golfer. What's your name? And I wanted to be identified. And I'm never going to leave this sport again. I've taken even little breaks because I had to have a job a few years back while my daughter was finishing up high school. But other than that, that's what I wanted to do. I was told by the tattoo person, it was the first time they'd ever heard of somebody getting their first tattoo on their knuckles. Yeah. Usually it's on below your arm.
Yeah, it's usually in the lower back or on your top of your foot. You get a little lizard or something. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I was like, no.
About City Beach stuff.
I will never leave this sport again. This is who I am. This is my identity. Not that I wish I hadn't left. I raised my daughter, but that's my wedding ring.
That's good. I love that. That's a good commitment. Yeah.
So I want to touch on something else. So I know you hate the difference between comparing golf and disc golf. I mean, golf and disc golf.
I don't hate comparing them. I do it all the time.
I mean, but you see these guys out on tour, they've got a Scotty Titleist putter, they've got a Srixon irons and drivers, and they're hitting a tailor-made ball. I mean, how is that any different than throwing an Innova putter or an EV7 putter, should I say, Innova drivers and Discraft mid ranges?
A lot different money.
Honestly, I don't know as far as the golf model. I mean, the idea of a mixed bag, the reason it's a challenge in disc golf, if you look big picture, is if I threw one disc from the 14 largest manufacturers, well, then how do any of them gain from sponsors, right? Because basically have just spread everything out there. What I've done and my idea as far as promotional is I have a pretty decent following now of players. A lot of them aren't the tour followers so much. And I'm going to be out here. I'm doing my thing. And if I'm not throwing your company's discs, I will be promoting somebody else's in that spot. In theory, right? I already told you that I would throw them anyways. But what happened is a lot of people just want to be a part of this.
Right.
And so I think a lot of it is the companies that I'm working with are excited for what's happening. They like the story being told. And they just want to be a part of it as much as anything, as opposed to as much as strictly business decision. They just don't want to be left out. Like the fact that they can be in my bag when I'm doing something that could be very special. They're in. Also, to their credit, all the companies that I'm working with, I told them that I'm working with other companies or that I'm going to throw other companies' discs.
And I think it's great.
One of them was like, oh, yeah, those guys are great. Oh, yeah, we think they're awesome. We have no problem with that. So, they're
That's awesome, though.
they all have a good attitude with the whole thing. Like no one told me no. I have yet to get a no in this.
That makes sense, though. I mean, yeah.
Did you ever see disc golf being at this point?
Yeah.
I mean, I want to even say like this fast.
Yeah, yes, this is exactly what I foresaw and bigger 40 years ago.
Yeah, what's bigger? What's
Really?
the next
You
big
thought
thing?
you thought it was going to happen by 2020?
No, in 1987 we thought it was going to happen in 1988.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because like back in the late 80s, early 90s, there wasn't a whole lot of alternative sports out there. Usually sports where you played them through high school, then you stopped doing sports and you watched baseball, football, soccer, and hockey on TV.
Right.
Maybe you tennis or you golfed if you had money. But the idea of sports as a participation thing, I'm going to date myself. You guys are all younger. But back in the 80s, the idea of most people having a sports hobby was not really as much of a thing. Sports was an activity you did on your couch. It's only over the last, 10, 20, 30 years that sports or having an activity that you do has become far more popular. But there weren't a whole lot of alternative sports. And then beach volleyball burst onto the scene. That was the big one back in the early 90s where we saw a sport that no one had heard of. And next thing you know, it's on ESPN every week. And we're like, that's us.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we thought that was going to. What we didn't realize is that the Corona hired like supermodels to sit in bikinis on the side of beach volleyball courts. And they were selling something different than we had to offer. They weren't selling a participation sport. They were selling a visual sport that was appealing to the 18
The
to
general
24
public. Yeah.
watch. So it wasn't going to be us, but we didn't know that at the time. We just thought, hey, they're doing it. Yeah. So we always thought it was going to be like a year away, and the next year would be a little bit bigger. But we always, every single person thought it was going to be this. It was just a matter of when. I shouldn't say everybody, but most of us thought we'd get here.
Yeah, I mean, skateboarding took 5.5 decades to get there. Skateboarding started probably in the 60s and didn't really become a feasible career path for a lot of folks until the early 2000s that were doing it. So,
and skateboard, and it didn't happen as a participation sport. It happened as a VHS sport.
Yeah, it really was. It
Right.
was exactly.
Yeah, and it created a culture of now we have something, but why is skateboarding popular? Well, it's, I worked at a skate shop.
Yeah,
and
okay.
there was skate on those videos, but there was a lot of other stuff on those videos too.
It's kind of like NASCAR. You only watch it for the wrecks.
Wow, I wouldn't. But no, you watch skateboarding for there were different reasons, but it was very much a cultural thing. I mean, skateboarding as a culture was.
I think frisbee sports is a culture thing, Scott. Right? Would you say?
I wouldn't say it's as cultural as skateboarding as far as the effect on. I mean, skateboarding, you had for every kid that skated, there were 20 kids that dressed like a skater,
Okay, true.
Skating was more of a cultural impact. Disc golf is a participation sport.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
I had the conversation the other day with someone, and he goes, yeah, the big thing is going to be when there's like not only are people like watching disc golf on disc golfers watching disc golf on YouTube, but when like the non-disc golfers are watching disc golf on YouTube, because all people that don't play
that's our community.
People that don't play basketball watch the NBA, and my response was that's not going to happen with us because our sport is fun to play, and it costs $20, and there's now a course within 4 miles of you, so our sport is going to be a participation sport. I think better than any sport in the history of sports in terms of the amount of people that just play recreationally as opposed to the pro tour. I think we're going to be number one. I mean, I think participation wise, there'll be more disc golfers than tennis players or ball golfers or anything. Like we're taking over.
I think soccer's got to beat, but
no, absolutely not.
Participation? Wait, what?
Well, no, soccer's a TV sport, man.
It's the most played sport in the world.
Sure. It's also a team sport.
I know it's the biggest sport in the world, but I mean,
I still turn on YouTube disc golf and over watching a soccer game.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, how many disc golfers? I mean, I know my only reference point's the U.S., so I'm a typical ignorant American when it comes to the rest of the world as far as what goes on in cities. But I can tell you that there's, I can't think of a sport where there's more people out there playing it on a given Saturday afternoon than disc golf right now.
I will agree.
And we're not leveling off.
We're not leveling off. Yeah, that's one thing that we kind of worried about. Well, not worried about, wondered about. You know, if DD budgets in $1 million a year for Ricky for 4 years, and then all of a sudden we taper, who's going to be on the hook for that budget being off? Is DD going to pick that up, or are we going to have $25 premium discs? I don't know. I mean, and you're saying we're still going up, but if it starts to curve before that 4-year, $4 million contract comes off, where does it get made up, you know?
If disc golf leveled off right now and stayed here, we're an incredibly successful sport.
We're still good. We're still good then, yeah.
Oh my God! But that's not going to happen. This is the reason I say it's not going to happen is it's basically it's math. Mm-hmm. The reason why the sport is successful is because a certain percentage of people that play it enjoy it and continue playing. A certain percentage of them that play it bring their friends out to try it. A certain percentage of them are playing 6 months later, 3 years later, 10 years later. And it's an algorithm. Yeah. Like our algorithm it is so much fun to play that more people play and keep playing and introduce people to it.
Stop playing.
And the math is not going to change. It's not all of a sudden like in 6 months, now 65% of people that try disc golf don't play it a second time. Like there's no reason why that math changes.
Right. And I've never heard it said like that. And that's great. I love hearing that.
Yeah. By disc golf. So disc golf had steady growth for like the first 40 years. And the reason it had steady growth for 40 years was because like more than anything else, it was the algorithm. X number of people played, they introduced their friends. X number of people that played disc golf would move away. Well, a certain percentage of those players wanted disc golf in their town and would get a course put in. But because it was an algorithm, it wasn't a fad because it was in a movie or something like that. That's why our growth was so steady, because the math kept our growth steady. And that isn't changing. We had a spike because of the last couple of years, right?
And in the YouTube generation is what I like to call it. It's like everybody's on the internet, everybody's at home, everybody was watching videos. Next thing you see is a 120,000 view video of some disc golfer shooting 18 down. Boom, you're out on the disc golf course wanting to do it.
Sure, it's there. I mean, and that actually, I mean, of course, that helped as well. But really, it's just the math says we're going to keep going. I mean, I don't know where critical mass is. I mean, at some point, 60% of people that try disc golf don't like it. So we're only going to have 120 million disc golfers in the U.S. because
darn.
I mean, there's a ceiling, but that ceiling, I don't think we're anywhere near, because according to that, my belief, the way the algorithm will work is that it will, if we hit critical mass, we'll see it slowly taper off. It's not beach volleyball. When it's not an ESPN, all of a sudden the courts at the beach are empty. They're not empty, right? People still play, but the fad, beach volleyball wasn't a fad. Don't post in the comments that I'm saying it's a fad. I mean, it's a fantastic sport, but the bursting onto the scene was fad-like. Because that didn't happen to us, we're going to keep going. There's zero question of this. We won. Disc golf won.
Yeah. What was your biggest surprise this offseason or even this past year?
This past year,
were you surprised to see that many 7-figure contracts?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all. I think that's what, based on how many discs you sell because you put someone's name on it, it's the math works.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, somebody posted on the comments earlier. It said the what is it? The merchandiser people for DD, they sold out in an hour.
Oh yeah,
the Ricky Wysocki discs, the retail discs. Yeah.
Yeah.
The retailers sold out in an hour getting Ricky's discs.
Yeah, I mean, little old me. I mean, I got my following, but when I posted my Tour Series Bergs for sale, I took in 1,000 orders like that.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
You know, and I wasn't surprised because I know what my following size is, so I made an estimate, and it was about what I was predicting. It was a little more than I predicted, but not off the chart more. So no, none of that surprises me. I mean, the biggest surprise in disc golf right now, like I don't think there's any surprise in the sport. I'll tell you one thing that's caught me off guard and was very touching to me is that the amount of support I'm getting for going back out on tour has blown my mind, because I expected a lot of people to kind of roll their eyes and go, yeah, not a chance. And by the way, I'm not the slightest bit offended at this. I mean, I love MMA.
Yeah.
If Anderson Silva comes back,
please have him back.
I'm not picking this guy to win.
Yeah.
So there's nothing offensive about not thinking that I can do it. But I expected there to be a lot of that, because why wouldn't you? And it's been almost universally positive. And by almost universally, I haven't really heard anything negative yet.
I haven't seen anything. Yeah.
No.
Do you need some negative feedback so you can have some fuel or what?
No.
Okay.
I don't,
because I'm full support of it. I love it.
Yeah. Well,
Hey, by the way, Flying Eye is coming back to Crucible in Athens, Georgia.
Oh, he's gonna have to dress up again.
Please do. October 22nd.
Yeah.
Right after USTGC.
I might be out there. I'll take a look at that.
I'm just letting you know. I saw it on the local pages today. I remember the zombie. Just letting you know.
Just letting you know.
I think I'm totally.
That was the first comeback to disc golf, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was my first PDGA tournament back on tour.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you one.
Please.
One of the things that, just going back to what we were saying about me being surprised about the support, I think one of the reasons why people have been so supportive, though, I think this all goes together, is because I've been able to demonstrate and show clearly how hard I've been working. And people know I'm taking it serious.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect this. I mean, I didn't start doing all this diet, supplement, amino acids, working out, disc golf, strong stuff. I didn't do it to say, look at how I look. But I think the results of that has been very good. People are like, I can root for him because I know he's taking it serious. Yeah. Whereas maybe they'd be less willing to debate with their friends at the course that I can win a tournament, on the DGPT tour if they didn't see me trying so hard.
Yeah. I mean, like you were saying earlier, you can't be a face there. You've got to go and compete. You can't do your ceremonial round and your wave and that's it.
No. I mean, if I have a successful tournament and I'm on the lead card, the final round, and I finish third, if you bring the cameras over, I'll be crying like a baby.
Yeah.
I will not. No, I'll be bawling. I will not be, proud of what I did. I will next week.
Yeah.
And I certainly will 10 years later, right? I'll look back on it and be like, wow, I did something special. I'm, at 52 years old. But at the time, I'm not going to be satisfied with that.
Right.
And if halfway through the season, I haven't had a breakout tournament yet, I'm not going to be feeling good about it. I will be feeling very what do I need to change? What do I need to work on? Where's the hole? I'm there to win.
You're there to win. Yeah.
That's
you always
it,
have
dude.
that.
It's going to be there.
I gotta know. Do you worry at all that the Frisbee family vibe is going to take a hit now that there's all this money flying around?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It already has, because we've become more mainstream. The whole Frisbee family vibe originally came from the fact that for several decades, virtually everybody that played disc golf or disc sports was a misfit.
Right.
In some form of another, we were all doing something that was outside of the norm. It was counterculture. I mean, I don't care if you have, by the way, a 9-to-5 middle management, regular, 2.5 kids in the suburbs job. You were still a misfit if you played disc golf in your free time. Nobody understood us but us.
I think you still kind of are.
That was the camaraderie that came with it, which is we were doing this thing that nobody understood. Literally, no one understood what we did except for ourselves, and that was the family.
Yeah,
and it's still there because there's a love of the sport and everything. But as we've gotten bigger, it's less.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, I always tell people, like I can't stand. I'm sorry, I can't stand older people that every time you mention something, they say it was better in their day. Like back in my day, music was better, movies were better, blah blah. I think that's stupid. I mean, the world is. I love the world today.
I love iPhones. I don't like rotary phones. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, everything's. I think that most things are better now. I mean, that's just my opinion. As far as disc golf, it wasn't better in my day. It's better now than it's ever been in like 84 different ways. The sport's better now than it's ever been. But there's one way that it's not, and that is the family aspect that came from us being on the outside. Right. And honestly, I would trade all the money in the world to have that back, because I loved that. So I do miss that. But that's the only thing. Everything else about the sport's better. I mean, everything.
I've got to use the restroom, so I'll ask that.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, go for it.
Your favorite foursome, you answered Lazat, Dollar, Sexton, and yourself. What was the reasoning behind that?
Oh God. Okay, so first off, I'm a huge Matt Dollar fan. I think I just love his pictures of his family that he posts, and everybody posts beautiful pictures of their families, but there's something about him that just says, I don't know, I love it.
I'm super happy for the guy, having grown up playing disc golf with him.
Yeah, I mean, does anybody not like him?
Nowadays, everybody likes him.
Oh,
did it used to be? Was he a little bit rough around the edges earlier?
I wouldn't want to.
He's always rough around the edges.
Yeah,
I will openly state. I will openly state that as an open player, Matt Dollar is not always the best to play with.
Okay.
But off the disc golf course, I freaking love the guy. He's hilarious, fun to have a beer with, and fun to hang out with.
Yeah.
But he can get into his own head sometimes.
Yeah, and you get that happens to it's sports. Like I don't hold that against somebody.
Yeah, right? And I don't hold it against him at all. But
yeah, so Matt Dollar's great. Simon Lazat is just because Simon is me 2.0.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's so true. Yeah.
Oh no, I actually about 4 years or maybe 5 years ago, I posted the results of a paternity test on my Facebook page that showed that Simon Lazat was my son. I did. And by the way, I got a message on Messenger from his dad.
I bet he wasn't happy.
No, he literally writes me and says, "There's something you need to tell me."
That's great. That is excellent.
So your wife's Maria, right?
Yeah.
So it was Matt Dollar, Simon Lazat, and
I think it was Nate Sexton. I think is who you said, right?
Sexton. Yeah, I've never competed against Nate.
When I was thinking that was backhand, overhand, and forehand, and I was like, you had the three main shot types, and I was like, I thought that's what it was.
No, I think that Nate is. I think if you pick one person that exemplifies what being a professional disc golfer is, not that there aren't a bunch of great people out there, but if I had to pick someone and say that's just be this way, if I had a kid that was into disc golf, and they said, which pro on tour, should I emulate? It's Nate.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, he would be your other kid.
Yeah, you've never played with him?
Well, he's only like 10 years younger than you, but yeah.
Yeah.
But you've never played around with him, huh?
Funny.
No, I've played around with him.
You have? Okay, I thought I misheard that. Yeah.
Funny enough.
Practice round. We played around on New Year's Day, but never a competitive round in his group.
Oh, gotcha.
So, funny enough, Disc Golf Pro Tour 29 minutes ago just posted Scott Stokely disc golf highlights.
Hey.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah. DGPT just threw that up.
29 minutes ago.
Oh my God.
So there you go.
Serious?
Your phone's about to blow up.
Yeah, and you look.
Yeah, your shit's going to blow up. It's not because of Frolfer either.
No, it's not even us this time. Yeah.
You're like,
that's cool.
30 of these. Yeah. Pretty neat.
I love those guys. I think that they do such a great job. I'm a huge fan of the PDGA as well.
I'm a huge fan.
Look, you can disagree with the decisions the PDGA makes, and they don't always make the right decisions because they're people, just like
and they're volunteers.
A lot of them are volunteers, but I believe that every single person in the PDJ is working their asses off, and I think they do a fantastic job. And like, I've never walked in their shoes. Like, how can I judge them? Like, I trust in their integrity to do what they think is best. Mm-hmm. If that's different than my opinion, that's fine, but that doesn't mean I should question their integrity. Like, what? Like, I think that's so unfair the way that when that happens. So I'm a huge fan of the PDJ. I think they get about 90% of it right, which is astounding.
Yeah.
For a 50% or
I don't think
non-for-profit organization or whatever.
Yeah. And I don't think anyone's going to take any of their elections for granted anymore. I'm just going to say that right now. Charles Williams wants to know.
No, say his real name. Charles Chuck Bob Williams.
Charles Chuck Bob Williams wants to know, how are tournaments going to change with the increased skill set of the pros? Smaller baskets, tighter OB. Any big changes to the game need to happen?
No. So this is what's tough. I think and this is not going to be an original idea, but I think this is the correct opinion, which is the long bomber courses that are fairly wide open on golf courses are not the best representation of what our sport is, what we can do with golf discs, but it is the most spectatorable. Yeah. It is the most easily translated to impressing a non-disc golfer, because they don't understand the technical aspect of a woods game. They can understand, eagle throwing a 600-foot hyzer. So I think
I can't understand it.
No.
No.
So I think it's tough, because I think that the vast majority of players would rather play much more technical courses, but they're not conducive to the galleries and the audience, and certainly not to YouTube. And I think we're always going to have this battle between those two things. And I think, unfortunately, what's going to wind up happening is we're going to see more and more of the long open courses, because at the pro level, because that's what the spectators like.
Yeah, it's moving the sport forward. Money.
But once they understand the game, they like watching like the Maple Hill and the Green Mountain Championships.
Yeah, now, okay, in a perfect world, you can have a course that can do both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, give me 128 acres, I'll make it right.
Yeah, so it's possible that the courses wind up, they dial this in, and our sport will evolve. I mean, we're not there yet, right? It'll evolve, but that's what's going to happen. Like that's kind of the challenge. Like personally, those courses are so boring to me. Like ball golf courses are typically the most boring courses to play. Yeah. I want to play throw 900-foot shots to tight woods par 5. Yeah. Right. That to me, best, most fun type of disc golf there is.
Matt Versola invented a word for you.
Who did?
Matt Versola.
Yeah.
Invented a word. What is
Stokely's ideal?
Go ahead, Austin.
Ideal technical course aside from spectatability.
Spectatorability.
Spectatorability.
Spectatorability. I know. I don't know if that's a word.
I don't think it is.
No, we made it up here tonight, but it's fine.
The ideal course is the course that makes you demonstrate all skill sets.
Right.
That's it. I mean, on a perfect course, you have to have every part of your game, and you have to be able to not even excel at every part of the game, but you can't have a weakness.
Yeah.
I think that
you have an example. Like what do you think?
Mixed martial arts, like mixed martial arts is a perfect parallel, I think, to the disc golf game, in that you used to be able to get away with being a wrestler or a boxer or a Muay Thai fighter. Now, if you are not a complete mixed martial arts fighter, you have an exploitable weakness, and you're going to lose. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to be great at everything, but you have to at least hold your own in every area. And I think that's, on a perfect course, that's where it is. Like
What course would that be?
What?
Name a course for me. Maple Hill?
Maple Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maple Hill. You got to have everything in Maple Hill. There's an advantage to throwing far at Maple Hill. Just like there's an advantage to hitting gaps. There's an advantage to, there's a huge advantage to playing that course smart.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're going to get everybody's going to get a lot of birdie opportunities, but you're going to scramble. Like Maple Hill's I think a great example of that.
Have you had a chance to play that new course in Missouri, Eagles Landing?
No, but did you hear about the skins match they're having?
Yeah, I know. I can't fucking wait. I figured you'd already been out there by now.
No, they invited me. Yeah, they're doing it's a minimum of a $10,000 skin
Yeah.
match, and they invited me to be one of the participants.
Ooh.
I hope you win every one of them.
I hope so too, because all the monies will be going to a local autism organization. So,
Right.
I hope I take money out of Ricky, Calvin, and Eagle's pockets and then send it to a bunch of kids with special needs.
Those little skinny
So they can
guys.
come back and beat them in 10 more years.
No, like I said, I am truly an amateur this year. I'm and by the way, I might be forever.
Yeah.
Like I think I did this. I started this in April last year. I'm having a lot of fun with the idea that I've just taken money off the table. I mean, it's just like I'm literally just playing for fun. Well, I'm playing to win.
Right.
But the whole different mindset when the money's not on the table, it's cool.
Every putt's not $1,000. It's it's something else. It's a different. Yeah.
Well, I'm talking to I think it was Sean Jack, and he I told him what I was doing about how I've been donating all my prize money. He says, "Well, what if you win what if you're on the pro tour and you win $20,000? You gonna donate that?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, that would be amazing."
Can you imagine?
If I could you imagine? So I like working with small organizations. I think the big autism and special needs organizations do a fantastic job, lobbying Congress and building buildings but a couple $1,000s doesn't mean a whole lot to them. Mm-hmm. But a school or let's say a home, an assisted living home that works with 8 adults with autism, like $500 is a game changer for them. I mean, $500, they literally can tell you exactly where they're going to spend it. Mm-hmm. So the idea that I could win a tournament or do well at a tournament and hand a place like that $20,000.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
they're gonna name the place after. It'd be the Scott Stokely Center for special.
I mean, it's not only that, but imagine the amount of things that can be done with $20,000 to a small organization.
Yeah. That's why I like small organizations. You can donate. Look, you can donate $20 to a small organization, and they can literally say, "Cool, we needed $20 for something." Yeah. Like they'll tell you.
Yeah, they needed that. Yeah.
God, I think this might be able to blend with a goal that we have at Frother Magazine. Maybe we could you could talk to Dave and create a Halo polecat, and all the money could go to charity. And we would just blow these charities out of the water.
The Halo polecat. Dude, that's people really want a Halo polecat. It's the only thing to save Innova now.
The world's begging for one.
Yeah.
So I must be out of that loop.
And we're going to leave it right there at that. We're going to leave it right there at that.
Man. Scott, we're going to let you go. It's been a little over an
hour. Hold on. I've got one more question for you, Scott, if you don't mind.
What you got?
Yeah, I don't mind at all.
All right, I'm going to ask this question. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm sorry, this is the last question, and we're leaving it at that. But what about the females division of disc golf? What do we need to do to grow it?
So that's a tough one for me to answer because I'm not walking in those shoes.
Yeah. Correct.
And I won't completely dodge the question because I think if you were to ask me, not if I think, I've been asked this question before, what's been the farthest disc golf has come, or the biggest change in disc golf, it's the women's division.
Right?
Yeah.
I've already seen exponential growth in the 12 years that I've been playing.
It's unbelievable. So it's like, well, what can we do? Well, let's put it this way. I'm gonna step aside. I'm gonna answer a different question, but you'll see how it applies to this.
Sure.
So for some reason, I've been asked, I don't know how many times on podcasts or whatever interviews in the last number of years, what can we do to fix disc golf? Like I've literally been asked that question, right? And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, what's wrong with it? You love this thing.
What is that? Like everything is going in the right direction. It's going where we want it to go. Like to me, here's what you do to fix golf. You get out of the way and let it keep going the direction it's going.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not in the women's shoes to know where they think there might be something that could be better or different. So I can't really speak to that. But what I can say is that everything's going the right direction in our sport as far as I can see. So I think a lot of it is just don't stop things from progressing. Like there's things that aren't just because things
don't stop playing.
They're not broke, right? Things aren't broke.
Don't fix it.
Right, and it doesn't mean you don't keep working at it, but I think that everything in our sport is going forward, not backwards. And as long as we keep going forward, we're going to get where we all want to be.
I'll tell you what, if we had 165,000 members of Scott Stokely's, we would be a very successful membership.
Yeah, this would be a very great place to work.
All organization.
Hey, it'd be so great. I would be so happy to be part of it.
Oh, Scott, you got any questions for us? I know we always ask that.
Questions for you guys.
Yeah, you got anything?
Who'd you vote for last election? No, don't answer. I'm kidding.
I didn't.
I'll tell you, it was not Justin Menachelle. I'll tell you that much at least. I don't think.
We're talking about the PDGA.
I didn't write him in either. Yeah,
I wrote him in. Fuck it, why not?
Yeah. Look, I
voted for Brian Court.
You guys do a great job. I always, you can always have me on. Keep me on your list of short, last-minute guests because I'm always like I don't need to prepare.
Sure.
No, you don't have to.
Can we pencil you in for New Year's Eve now? Next year?
Oh, don't do him like that.
You need to
I'm just
like,
kidding.
You'll need to be sitting. Remind me. I felt so bad about that.
No, dude.
Like remind him at 24 hours before time.
Yeah.
And
it
then
actually
he'll be good.
kind of helped us out because we were a little
overtime. It was actually perfect.
Off timing.
Blessing in disguise.
You're welcome, by the way, for that.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks. You were looking out for us.
Yeah. Well, after just coordinated that Christmas show, like I know how hard this is.
Yeah, it's all the clicking the buttons and
Oh my God! Well, I wasn't doing it. Adriana was behind the scenes, running the whole logistics of it.
Yeah.
So I got to do all like the fun stuff and behind the scenes, all this like the hard work's happening. So, like I had the easy job, but I had the anxiety over something not working because of all the things.
Yeah. Your Christmas show was fantastic.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty good though. I did tune in.
Well, we're going to give you the big screen, Scott. We're going to let you tell everybody goodbye, tell them where to follow you, where to support you, all that good stuff. You're going to get to say goodbye to everybody. Good luck this year on tour. Thanks,
Scott. Good luck on tour this year, man. Good luck to you, man.
Thank you. All right. So as far as how to support me, we were talking about the special needs work. I do not take donations. I'm never going to take donations. If you want to support my special needs work financially, find a local autism or special needs organization and donate your time and money directly to them. I don't deal with money because money's awful. Well, it's not awful. I love money, but I just don't like dealing with it. So if you want to support my special needs work, the best thing you can do, donate and support an organization near you because I inspired you to do so. That's how you support me. As far as purchasing products, scottstokely.net is where you will buy products. Only a couple of them are up there now, but every product will be on my store at scottstokely.net. Most important, though, get on the mailing list because Stokely Method seminars, clinics, new products, everything gets announced first through the mailing list at scottstokely.net. And other than that, my YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, but all that's listed on scottstokely.net too. Just search for my name, you'll find me. And that's it. Love you guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Beautiful. Let me get everybody back in here. What up?
Thank you, Scott Stokely, so much for coming on, brother.
Good luck next year, bud. I really think he's going to do well.
I really am pulling on it. I really am pulling for him to come big on like a Joe Mez coverage or some stuff.
Dude,
like
I would love some Stokely commentary would be really good.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, dude's always got something good to talk about, you know?
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Do you guys want to talk about the Dude Open?
Oh, the Dudes Guys Pro Tour?
The
Disc Golf Con?
Open?
The Dudes
Open?
Pro Tour.
I don't know. I'm not gonna put anybody on blast, but I got a message during the show about somebody involved with the tour gaslighting someone else on Twitter about it and blah, blah, blah. There's apparently, I've not been looking at Twitter, but apparently Twitter's on fire right now about this whole thing. So
what are you talking about right now?
So
the amount of women they allowed at the dynamic.
Oh, yeah.
So we're saying
the Dudes Dude Open.
The Dudes Open.
Dude Open is what they should call it.
The Dudes
128 MA1 players, 8 FA1 players.
I mean, absolutely, 100%. That's what it is.
It's awful. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's bad. Anyway, who's gonna say goodbye first?
Did Brody break up with Foundation? Apparently, he unfollowed MCB. What?
Well, McBee left Foundation.
McBee left
Pablo
Foundation.
left Foundation.
Paul Bell's just trying to stir this pot. Joe Costa's drunk. I'm drunk. This has been like one of my one of my most favorite podcasts to read the comments while we were playing.
The comments were really good.
Yeah.
I mean, Costa was out there like he's overcooked pasta right now.
Overcooked pasta. Somebody said that.
Yeah. Overcooked pasta.
It's absolutely true. He's al
Barry,
dente.
thank you for watching. Billy,
Al
thank you
dente.
for watching. You don't get a lot of,
Yeah, thanks for...
watchers.
Yeah.
He
We'll
followed
always
on
ask your
Pablo on
questions.
Twitter.
Put 'em in there.
Paul Bell, he also unfollowed Alden Harris on Instagram for no fucking
Dude, he
reason,
blocked
because
us
Alden
on
Harris,
Twitter. We're blocked by Brody. I don't know if you knew that.
Alden Harris is the most wholesome person in the world, and Brody unfollowed him, so...
Yeah, I don't know. It's that says more about... Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all have a good night, and we'll see you. Make sure you subscribe and hit the like and all that good stuff. Bye.
See you, bud. Who's going first, Cody? You or me?
Go ahead.
Okay. Guys, once again, it is Jazz Cabbage January. I tried some Bad Days tonight. It's really good. I'm going to do a whole review on it. I started it earlier today. I'm going to play with a little bit of this stuff on Saturday and see how it goes. If you go to frolfer.com right now, there is a review up for the drink I was drinking last week, the Vibes Ginger Lemonade. That review's up now. Those guys are really rad. They like the review. They're going to send me a free case. I don't know if I'm supposed to legally tell you I'm getting free vibes now or something. I have no idea. I guess I'm on their flow team. Anyway, this was Frolfcenter. Next week. Next week.
Well, I can do that. Is it who I think it is?
Let me make sure. Yeah, let me make sure I got the
All right.
the actual thing here. I'll put it down here. It's
Anyways, Disc Golf Con was canceled.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. I don't have a graphic available for this. So I'm gonna say goodbye.
Bye. I actually totally forgot who we have next week. I'm just kidding. We have Paige Pierce coming on next week, I believe. I hope that's right. I hope I'm not a week ahead. Paige Pierce next. No.
No, that's a nope.
Okay. Well, I don't know who our guest is next week. So love everybody. Shout out to Bomb Squad. Bye-bye.
Shoppers, can I get a fucking oh yeah? Thank you.